Here we are again. 3, 2, 1. There it is, folks.
There it is.
We're here again, folks. It is about 100 degrees in the shop. It's probably, what do you think? What would you guess?
I don't know, like 98 probably. 98
198? Maybe something like that. It's hot. It's hot in here. And it's the experimental show. We've got a couple words. The first one, I forget what the first one was. I only remember what the winning one was, which was intelligent apple. And so, I don't know if anybody heard. Did you hear about that? The Google guy that just said that there's actual. He thinks that the AI is actually sentient.
I have not.
In Google, and then Google fired him. So that's kind of happening in the real world. In the glass-blowing world, which is ultra real and super sweaty, we're going to make an intelligent apple. And I'm not sure the tech can even handle the temperature right now. We might not even make it through the show, but it surely can't handle the glass, and we can't figure out how to get the AI, the intelligence, into the apple at all. So what we're going to do is make a sculpted and realistic-looking apple for you all. And I explained I love Honeycrisp apples. Matt's a Granny Smith lover. So we're going to go with a Granny Smith. And then if we got extra time, we might do a regular Honeycrisp, good, tasty one. But we'll see how the cameras are. I don't have high hopes for them right now. So that's the plan. The apples are super cool. This is a product we don't carry in the gallery, so this is something I've seen my dad do a couple different times for awards, for Teacher of the Year awards, and that's intelligence right there. But we don't have them in the gallery, so this is something that I think we could say with a little bit of confidence that if we make this and it turns out good, we'll put this on the website, we'll put it on the Gathering Point page, perhaps for next week on Tuesday. And if you guys wanted to purchase a glass apple, first time available in the Glass Academy Gallery, that might be pretty cool, so we'll do that. But let's do it. We were working all morning at the little hole over here. We've switched to the large hole for the show. It's hot. It's ready to go. We got our Granny Green right here. Matt's never made an apple before. I've never made an apple before. But we're just going to talk through it and wing it as we go. It's going to have the X crease on the bottom, and it's going to have a nice brown off of the tree stem coming out of the crevice of the apple. So here we go. Big shout out to Uncle Dennis over here, folks. A little bit of love to Sam, who is feeling better. She's doing much better, but I'm still running the tech over here right now, so we're figuring out as we go. If you guys have questions, this is the pre-recorded show, so shoot us a question on the website. Check out our website, and that's all good. We're going to do it a little bit larger than usual, and it's going to be completely solid. So if you did bite into it, you would take out a really large chunk of solid glass. That's really cool. So there's our glass, and I know we've done this 100 times before. If we stop turning the pipe, ooh, that would be a Rupert's drop right there if we dropped it in the bucket of water. And maybe we'll do that on one of these shows coming up in the future. We had a group from my high school, a group of about like 25, would you say, kids?
Yeah, around there.
About 25 kids came through and watched us doing production during the day, which was pretty cool. And we did a Rupert's drop for them at the end of the day and kind of just talked a little bit about the science and the history of glass, and that was pretty fun. We do that on the show a lot. That's the beauty of this show and what it's about. And if you're new, if you're watching the experimental show for the first time, this glass is 2100 degrees. I'm going to coat it in Granny Smith green, apple green Granny. Probably 2 or 3 good coats. The beauty of this color is it's not perfectly smooth. If we had a powder that was almost like powder, it would be a perfectly even green coat. But the reality is the greens vary in apples, and they're a little bit spotty, and this is going to look pretty much identical to what a Granny Green would do. And I'm going to put 2 solid coats, and then I'm going to come back and kind of put a couple spots or maybe a couple darker patches on either side so that there is kind of a darker side over here and a darker side over here and whatnot. That's right. Hope you guys are liking this new mic setup. After this retail summit I went to this past weekend, I got some ideas for the live show. I got some ideas for the tech behind it and what we may do moving forward. We need to streamline it a little bit more. We got our hands in like 100 jars of honey, and I love honey, but I don't love it that much. I'm going to take this humongous block that Chris was using to make lampshades earlier in the day today and utilize only about a third of it. But it is giving me the perfect apple shape. Matt, would you cop me a butter knife?
Yeah.
We're going to slather some butter all over this apple. Thank you, sir. No, and actually, this is going to be the bottom. So once this cools down, solidifies a little bit more, we're going to cut some crevices into the bottom. I don't know what that part of the apple's called or what that's all about, because the apple's connected by the stem to the tree. So why would the bottom have that little like flowery thing and be sitting on 4 feet? It's a question for the apple creators. I'm specifically leaving it a little pointy on the bottom. This is very different working with really thick glass like this. I've got so much time to manipulate the glass. You almost have to be more patient with thick glass for sure. I think that's kind of looking apple shape-ish. When we flip it around, right where the neckline is, we'll indent that into the apple. So the top shoulder goes like that, and then it's got its spot for the little. So for the punny mat, when we bring this, it's pretty much going to be if you take like a clear gather and then you just make like, it's called a post, where you're just going to set it on the marber straight up and down and let it just drip down. So we're punning it up on like a flat disc almost, probably like that wide. Carving the apple crevices. Looks pretty apple-like.
Appley.
I'm not really going to take credit for this piece, folks. Like I said, I've seen my dad do this a few times, so I'm just kind of recreating right now, but it is coming along pretty darn nice, I might say. Let's go for that punny.
Yes, sir.
The reason we're going to do this special punny is that it should break off it's only going to touch the 4 points that were just made there. Instead of making a pointy traditional punny and putting it right up in that bottom spot, that would probably and very likely take off a chunk of the apple. Just drip it right on the marv. Yep. Let's give it a shot, folks. This is kind of experimental. That's what we're here for, right? So it's touching all 4 corners. It's not in the middle at all, so that's good. Let's line her up a little. But it's on there pretty good, too. I hope it's not on there too good. We're going to see. I'll put a little cold metal for the breaking point. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now I'm just heating the top. It's going to be pretty important to not have the bottom heated up too much. It's thick, so it's going to take a minute to heat up, but if I heat too deep on it, I'm going to I should probably just be torching it, honestly. I would flatten the whole apple. You know what they say about a flat apple. So anyway, I'm just going to take this sharp edge and I'm going to squish it together like so. If you guys were feeling a little left out of that one, if you didn't know what they say about a flat apple, I don't think they say anything about a flat apple.
I don't think so either.
We used to do that all the time in high school. Me and my buddy we'd do that to teachers in the middle of the class all the time. Just the most random stuff. Well, you know what they say about that, and then we just start talking about something else.
You know what they say about diamond shears.
Yeah, exactly. So I pinched together, there was that neckline where there was all clear glass in the middle. I pinched together all the green so that I don't have to completely squish all that down to the body. Now if I squish down just that little nib on top, it's going to look green all the way inside, which is pretty important. This is about the same size of the apple that I ate this morning, except that apple was a Honey Crisp. It didn't work. I need more juice in that. A little more apple juice. I can feel that this punny's actually pretty delicate, which is awesome. When we knock it off, I doubt we're going to need to do anything. We're just going to tap it and it'll just go. Would you grab that almost like a reamer, but it's the brass thing we were wrapping those wires around, the copper wire? Kind of pointy a little bit. I'm going to try that rather than the tweezers. It's going to give it a little more of a symmetrical indent and maybe just look better. Now remember, this doesn't look granny green, but if we take a look at it next to the green right here, we're only seeing that because it's still probably over 1700 degrees right now. So when that cools down, it's going to be popping and smacking and really getting your perfect, thank you. Getting your taste buds thinking about that tart apple flavor. And get your intelligence going too. And if you guys are watching this for the first time, the reason we're talking about intelligent apple, oh yeah, that did it. Look at that. The reason we're talking about intelligent apple is because folks voted on Monday on Instagram and Facebook. We do a poll with a verb and a noun of 2 random words to give us prompts to go off of for the experimental show. And this apple was prompted by you. I'm going to let you take that, give it one flash, take it to the bench, and be super gentle with it. I think that punny's barely on there. And I'm grabbing this brown to start for the stem here. I'm going to start warming it up. This would be a good one for the zoom. Oh yeah. Tender fingers. All right, stop. Take her away. It's beautiful. It's perfect.
You want to put it back in here?
The way you turned it at the end, too, was awesome because there was that thicker, hotter blob at the end, and it curled over just a little bit as you rotated it. Thank you, sir. Look at that. It looks exactly like the apple I had this morning. Well, let's see how it comes off then. We're going to let it cool down, actually. There's probably still a lot of core heat in there. We're We're also going to polish the bottom a little bit. Hopefully it's not going to take any green away, but we'll smooth it out. Depending on how it sits, we may be grinding these. If we make 10 or so of them, they're not all going to sit flat. They can lean, which might be nice as a natural apple would, but if they're wobbly, if they're leaning and wobbling, wobble's no good. So we might actually grind the bottoms just a little bit to give them a nice flat edge to sit on so they're not going to roll off and knock your dog out on the floor or anything like that. They rolled off the shelf. But that's a Granny Smither all day. Let's see how she comes off. I'm going to knock it on the top. You'll torch the bottom. I'll take it and put it away. Can't really tell the heat with this green and it being solid, so I'm hoping it's correct.
Nice.
Like butter. Nice punny. Gentle with that green. Maybe even just torch it a little bit and I'll give it a little squish right now. Let me turn that air down a little. A little more. All right. That's the way to do it right there. That thing's gonna sit perfect. Let's flip her over. Oh, did go a little hot maybe. You guys gotta use your smell-o-vision to smell my finger burning. That's it right there. She sits good. She leans a little bit. I like it. That's straight off the apple tree.
Looks good.
You guys can use your brains to add the intelligence to that apple. Safe and sound, baby. All right. Well, we wanted to show them a quick Rupert's drop since it's kind of a shorter show and it wasn't that experimental. I'm not going to explain all of the details behind it. I want to see who watches the show today. So we'll do a Rupert's drop. You can blow it up, and then we'll see who has questions about it on Tuesday's show. So you want to do them out of clear, always, and when you get to making them, that's super important. If you do them out of color, you do them out of recycle, they're way stronger than they typically would be. We're going to take it over to the water bucket over here, Uncle Dennis. Come on over here and take a look at this. I got a full bucket of water, one drip of glass. Now, it could explode and take out one of our eyeballs right now, but luckily you guys are saved by the camera screen. I got my glasses on. It's looking like we nailed it on the first one. If the comments were viable, I would ask who's seen it before. And if you guys are watching this now and you already know about it or we've already showed you about this, then let us know that on Tuesday. Say, super cool, I saw that Rupert's drop on Tuesday. Won't give any more detail behind this other than the fact that people have posted videos and you can watch them on YouTube. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube right now. After this, go to Rupert's drop shot by bullet. And you can watch a Rupert's drop shot by a bullet, and the bullet has issues, and the Rupert's drop is completely fine. That's how strong it is. But it also has so much pressure built up that if you just break that line of pressure, it will explode. Beautiful. Do you want to get the explosion or give the explosion?
It doesn't matter.
All right, if he doesn't care, he's taking it to the hand, folks. We're going to blow his hand off. So here we go. That's our Rupert's drop. Cute little tail on it here. Just like a little, I don't know.